So
Oh, now I know. Now I see. Okay, now I get it. Oh, yeah. So you pretty much is it the team of the Dutch like top professional, semi-professional players or
too legit
what?
to quit. Let me I'll type here. Actually consists of wait, where's that team? There we go. Yona, Agam, J Power, Harstem, and Harstem's brother, aka Slow Stupid.
AKA slow stupid. That's
Yeah,
nice.
I believe he's a platinum Protoss. We might be seeing him in the 2v2.
All
Um,
right.
but yeah, J Power and at least Yona is Grandmaster and one of
Mm.
the, well, perhaps the, I think actually best circle in Netherlands right now. Maybe not. I would like to see him go best of five against Red someday to determine that. But J Power and Agam are both High Masters players. Not sure if they're GM. I think J Power made GM and
J
Agam did
Power,
as well.
I'm positive that both of those were GM in
Okay.
the past. I'm not sure how they're doing in the current league, but they have been GM before. Um, okay, so we have obviously Fnatic Hearthstone, the blue Protoss player, spawning in the left position or on the left side of Habitation Station, and his opponent is going to be from Team Mouse Control, TT. Looks like this is a gas on 12 after the racks,
Mm-hmm.
so looks like a Reaper opening here. Very standard thing
Very
to
standard.
do.
Yeah, what else can you do as a Terran these days, unless you decide to go for the One Rex Command Center into mass planetary fortresses and mass battle cruisers? That's yeah, those are pretty much your options in the current meta, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Agaham is typing into the chat with a sad face that, dude, I am GM.
Okay, well I just wasn't sure. Yeah,
No harm done. We know that Agaham is pretty good. And I think he was in that trailer, the launch trailer for DSCL 2014 with those nice yellow gunner glasses.
yeah, gunner glasses. They give you like 50% more APM for sure.
Well, they wouldn't give me anything in terms of APM, but they would probably make me see stuff on the minimap a little bit better.
Oh, I like this little move by Hearthstone. Like he didn't send his probe like directly all the way to his opponent's base. Just scooted around. It's
Yeah.
now going to be harassing this SCV building, the command center.
He knows the timings, so he
Yeah.
knows that if a reactor is going to be built, he waits until the Reaper leaves the Terran base and then comes back. Now he sees the reactor, he sees no second gas, no factory, so he knows there is nothing to be afraid of in terms of factory attack, be it Hellions or Widow Mines or early Medivacs or what have you. He knows he can take the slow and he can tech up like crazy. That's why he's taking the second gas right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Twilight Forge or something to that effect very shortly.
So TT got a perfect scout off. He saw the timing on the second gas as well as the Nexus, and should be, realize he's pretty much safe against any form of DT or Oracle shenanigans, which is the truth. There's a robo facility on the way for Hearthstone, who looks to be playing, perfectly safe. Still, TT is going to be getting pretty early engineering bay at the 5-minute mark. Probably just to be sure, because well, one Oracle can spell devastation even in any stage of the game, and Hearthstone is actually still hiding a probe out on the map. He lost one probe due to the Reaper harassment, but nothing dramatic of the
Yeah,
sort.
not a big deal. And there's the Forge coming down for Hearthstone as well. Which I think this. I mean, there are two ways to go about this. Hearthstone can either go Colossus tech and start with +1 armor into +1 weapons and then add his Twilight Council later on, or he can just use the Robo Facility for observers only and go for Mass Zealots into Charge and Storm directly and skipping the +1 attack upgrades, which could be the case. This map is not very difficult to defend against drops, so you don't need to be defensive or playing defensive with Blink as much as you would on other maps.
Yep. We actually have a bit of a move out here by TT with the Reaper and 6 Marines. I don't like this number of Marines. I think 6 is too few. If you move up with a couple more, it's actually quite effective. He probably intends to, get... Oh, okay, Reaper gets sniped, and now the Marines move up. But I think there's actually enough units for the Protoss here. No, he pops the Photon Overcharge. Really doesn't want to lose any of his early units, and in fact he's right that he just does this because we're at the 7:50 minute mark, and the mothership core will actually regenerate
Yeah.
plenty of energy.
Yeah, he knows the timing of the stim. It's not yet there. It's still 1 minute away, so that's enough time for the mothership core to regenerate that energy. And one of the most painful things for Protoss is when you open on one gateway like this, such as what Hearthstone is doing, is losing probes at the start, because you have no answer to how to retaliate. Because normally when an opponent disrupts your infrastructure and kills a couple of your probes, you can counterattack in some way because you have enough production and you have an army of some sort. But when you go one gate into Forge Twilight Robo, you don't have that. So that was a very good decision by Hearthstone. And now he's going to try and... Is he actually going to force field drop on top of his ramp and warp 3 Zealots inside of his main base?
Something like that. He's pouring a lot of gas into it, so I expect him to commit to it by all means. Maybe he'll try to cancel some attack, but that's not really the case. Warps in a single Zealot, but the Marauder range is actually quite a lot. And I'm not sure he's committing to this, but I'm really not sure how he's gonna make this work.
I think he's going to just get the stim back before it finishes researching. No, it's actually already done. That's not the right tech lab. That's such a shame. Hearthstone came in just a minute later, but he does get the cancel on the combat shields. Those Marines and Marauders still cannot get inside the main base, and you know what? There is not enough production to hold this off. There are 2 more gateways just about to finish off. Hearthstone hit the perfect timing, and there's just going to be more and more and more Zealots inside this main base.
SCVs are actually fighting off a couple of the Zealots, and several SCVs, they were killed, over 10 already. Finally the wall breaks through, and he messes up the force field and loses the War Prism. He's committed a lot to this attack, I feel. Like, he did trade somewhat favorably, but now everything gets wiped out.
I think it was actually worth it for him.
Well, he did limit the production of TT quite a bit. They're equal on supply. There's still no medevacs out at this point.
Yeah, exactly. There are no medevacs. He lost 10 SCVs. The worker count is 52 versus 38. Even factoring in the mules, that should put Hearthstone in the lead. The Temple Archives have just now finished. He's adding on more and more gateways all the time. And look, he's getting another War Prism. He's looking to repeat this step, I feel like. Or this move. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does and takes a 3rd base behind that.
There's actually a single Viking out on the map right now trying to keep watch against this sort of shenanigans, as TT is once again getting Combat Shield and Concussive Shell. I wonder if TT is aiming to go for an SCV pool. Like, he's made a lot of units. He is replenishing his SCVs though, and he's also not really producing Vikings, so I don't think so. And we have Silent Storm at 11:30, which I believe is actually ideal timing. Getting +2 armor before +1 attack. Everything very standard by Hearthstone, and he seems to be very comfortable doing this off of 2 bases.
Look at this, that Warp Prism does get past that Viking, unloads the 4 Zealots, probably will not be able to warp in any more units as that Viking is onto her. Meanwhile, the army of TT is moving towards Hearthstone, but he's got a lot of force fields there. The storm is not yet finished, but he can hold out for a while longer as long as he's... Yeah, he should. And as long as his force fields are good, he should not suffer too much of a damage. Meanwhile, the Zealots in the main base have killed 13 more SCVs. Are you kidding me?
Massive damage. Oh, it's Immortal. What is it doing? Is it trying to be bait? No, nice attack actually on the medevac.
It was trying to be a hero. A tough guy.
Yeah, but he's technically already a hero. Hearthstone keeps baiting these units, it almost seems like. There's no way TT can go up the ramp here. Like, that's suicide.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Hearthstone was banking on. That he would TT would not be looking at his army and he would bait a couple of units, storm them, kill them off with the Zealots, and you know that's a pretty good technique you can use when you're being contained like this. This is a really weird game. Hearthstone constantly putting on pressure on the Terran player, not taking a 3rd base instead of staying on 2 base economy for a ridiculous amount of time. And I have to say, with that storm, his army is superior technologically against the Terran army. There are no ghosts.
As you say that, there are ghosts actually in production. Before TT decides to take a 3rd. His main is also heavily undersaturated commander is natural, but it's perhaps a minor detail. And finally, Harstem is the first one that decides to take a third. A scan from TT actually reveals the natural is completely empty, and the question is he even going to respond to that? Harstem completely skipping Robotech so far in terms of Colossus, and it's just banking really heavily on Templar.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, a lot of people have had success with this in tougher competitions than this one.
Well, the problem here is that there are ghosts on their way.
Yeah, I mean, you could switch, but at this point, it all comes down to control. You can have ghosts, but unless you get rid of all of the observers and you have like 12 ghosts in your army, with good control and good awareness, there is no way that Harstem should be able to not have at least one storm available. More harass out of the Zealots in the middle line of the natural. There's a medevac healing the SCVs.
Yeah.
Well, it's doing a very good job with that.
No, it is actually. Like, these SCVs are living so much longer than they normally would. So he does clean it up rather okay. Actually pulls a couple of SCVs along with his army. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or not. But yeah, the army of DT is still, well, smaller than his opponents in terms of roughly... Wait, I'm actually looking at the army supply. Yeah, it is actually 2 supply ahead right now, so we don't make that miscalculation.
You know, one thing is that TT has not scanned once around his army. And Harstem, every single time TT positions his army somewhere, Harstem has an observer nearby.
Oh god. Oh, nice storm there. Gets hit with EMP, but actually manages to retreat there. The medevacs are gonna...
Oh, another one!
Oh, the devastation!
One more stim, one more storm, and that army is completely dead!
It's almost like that, and pulling SCVs may not seem that the best move right now. Really?
How good are the storms? Decent storm, but even a more brilliant dodge by the Terran player so far. And TT is holding on, but the problem is his natural is completely dead. The Warping of Zealots killed all the SCVs there, 49 and rising. TT has to attack, but I mean, seriously, attacking into this? That's almost impossible.
Oh, here comes another storm. Decent dodge here by TT. The supply really tells most of the story here, though. Like, he can't really do a whole much. The medevacs are too busy actually healing, and Harstem's like, well, I think my army is so big right now I can just kind of run you over, and it's actually moving faster than that of TT. It's catching up. TT does do a nice team here, tries to pull back, but here come the charge lots with +2/+1 upgrades.
Good force fields
and the feedbacks put an end to any sort of healing plans that TT still have. Look at how many Marines he has, though. That's a big mistake.
Oh! You were meant to say, look how many Marines he had.
Yeah, that hurts.
That was painful to watch. And I think there are this group of Zealots in the south is going to start harassing the natural base of TT once again after a while, or maybe Harstem will keep that in reserve in case TT tries to take a third base, which he really can't. He would have to fly his main orbital over to the third if he wanted to mine there. I don't know if this position if it would not be smarter to just fly it over to the gold. Just to give yourself an extra boost considering the position TT is in. And here we are looking at another clash of armies potentially. Guardian shields do go off, couple of Zealots go forward in case there are mines. Nice force fields, but Harstem does not finish the job. There's a nice storm coming from the left flank, not killing a whole lot, but that army is awfully small, and GG well played coming out of TT. 2legit2quit, Harstem securing the first point, unsurprisingly.